Let's play more desktop dungeons. In this episode, I'll be taking you along with a mage into another dungeon. We'll have some faster combat and then be able to upgrade more of our kingdom, so let's get started. Let's continue with desktop dungeons where we left off last time. We had just unlocked the Mage Tower, which gives us access to a wizard. And one of the areas we have to conquer is called the BAAdlands. And the little description of it up here suggests that magic and cunning are required to prevail, and so perhaps taking a wizard into that area would be a good idea. And so I'm going to select this particular dungeon. And humans are still the only race that I have, but now I have two classes I could choose from, and so I will choose the wizard. And we will go ahead and get started in this particular dungeon. Let's quickly go over what we get from the wizard class. Once again, on the left-hand side, we basically have the dungeon, and on the right-hand side, on the bottom, we have our inventory, and the top, we have stats about our character. Wizards have a number of things, including magic sense, can see glyph locations. All glyphs are small items, and so basically these little question marks that we see in the unexplored black space of the dungeon are the location of various glyphs, that is, kind of power-ups and magical spells that we can get. Magic Affinity, glyph costs -1 mana and donate 10 conversion points to other conversions. So basically, it costs less mana to cast various spells. For example, this spell cost 6 when I was casting it in the previous dungeon, and now it only costs 5 because I'm a wizard. And finally, Magic Attunement. We start with this Fireball spell in our inventory, and we can also kind of like hold a number of these spells in these little slots in our inventory to kind of give us more inventory space. We start out at level 1 at full power, and there is a goblin right here, and we should be able to fight this guy off, and so I will just hit him a couple of times. He does some damage to me. I'm down to 4 of my 10 hearts, but we've killed that guy and now got 1 point of experience. We're 1 of 5. And there's a number of power-ups right here, and so I do want to pick these things up, and so let's go ahead and pick up this, which will give me more base damage, an extra 10%. Since I'm only at 5, it doesn't actually increase the amount that I'm hitting, but that will be something that we hold on to as a 10% bonus later on, which will become more valuable as we level up. And then this glyph over here is one that I don't know if we've seen before. It's called Get In There. Grants you first strike on your next combat round and 5% dodge chance. So this is a very valuable glyph that we want to go ahead and pick up, and we can use it to kind of finish off monsters and get first strike on a number of monsters that otherwise would get a chance to hit us back. The act of exploring some of the new regions of the dungeon by picking those things up has healed me back up, and so now I should be able to take out the Meat Man. And so let's hit him a few times. And I think I misspoke in the last game in terms of when it is that you get to hit monsters versus monsters get to hit you with respect to first strike. In general, if you're at the same level as a monster, you kind of are at the same level of first strikedness. You notice if I were to hit this monster again, next hit will be a win. I will kill off the Meat Man. However, he hits for 1, and he is still going to do 1 point of damage to me before I manage to hit him and kill him off, and that's because we're at the same level. If you're at a higher level than a monster, then you kind of automatically get granted first strike, and if you're at a lower level or equal, they get first strike by default. But just to show it off, if I were to cast Get In There, now I have first strike. It also shows up as a little icon on my player photo up here. And so now, if I hover over the Meat Man again, this time not only is it a win, but you'll see my hit points are not scheduled to go down from 8 to 7. And so I can finish this guy off without taking any extra damage. And so that's one of the main advantages of this Get In There glyph, which is a useful spell. And there is a place I can pick up more mana over here, but I would really like to pick up more spells. And so, since I'm going to be exploring more of the dungeon, I'm also going to go ahead and cast Get In There one more time. And one thing you'll notice is it kind of stacks the dodge percent, because the other thing that Get In There grants is 5% dodge chance. And so at this point I'm up to 10% dodge chance, and I think I keep that until I suffer another melee attack. But let's go explore more of the dungeon, both to restore some health and mana and also to get closer to some of these glyphs. There's also a sub-dungeon over here and a mana potion. I'm going to pick up the mana potion. So now I've got 2 of them. And there's another glyph over here, but before I pick that up, we've got another guy that we can fight. And I would like to do that since I'm back up to full. And who do we got over here? A warlock. All right. So I'm going to fight him. And he's down to just 1 hit point, and just kind of break things up and do something different, I will go ahead and burn him with my fireball glyph, just like that, to go ahead and kill him off. And now let's walk over here and check out this new glyph. It's called End This Wall, which will destroy a dungeon wall and gain a 20% physical resistance boost. This effect will stack. And so this is cool. Basically, you can use it to break down dungeon walls, such as these walls that I see kind of above and below my character right here. And so one of the obvious abilities of this is to kind of gain access to places that otherwise you would need to kind of walk around. But another advantage to this particular glyph is it allows you to kind of save up regeneration and exploration that you can use later. I'll explain that a little bit more perhaps as we move on through this Let's Play, but for now I'll go ahead and pick up this glyph, which appears in our inventory over here. And with a mage, it only cost 5 for me to cast this particular thing. And since I've got some magic and I'm going to continue to regenerate as I explore more of the dungeon, I'm going to go ahead and cast it right now to open up that square of the dungeon. So in case this ends up being blocked off, I have another way that I can explore over there. But we're very close to picking up yet another glyph. And so let's head over in that direction next. All right, and over here we have a level 2 zombie. He hits for 7, it looks like. But because I have some resistance, notice that even though he hits for 7, since I just cast that wall thing, which gives me physical resistance, now if he were to hit me, he's only going to hit me down to 4. He's only going to hit me for 6 hit points. And yeah, but he has a lot of hit points. I'm not going to be able to destroy him just kind of on my own, but perhaps if I cast a bunch of fireballs at him, I would have a shot. And since I don't see anything that I'm immediately going to be spending other mana on right now, I'm going to go ahead and hit this guy with a fireball, just to see how much damage that's going to do and how slowly he's going to regenerate. And then I'm going to go down here and pick up this mana thing so that I can get some more mana points. And the zombie's almost fully healed back up, and so I think I'll need to change strategies a little bit. So I think what I will do is I will hit the zombie with a melee attack. And notice that if I were to fight again, I would die, so I don't want to do that. However, you'll recall that if we use the fireball, monsters do not have a chance to strike back. And so I'm going to hit him again. That'll weaken the zombie further. He's down to 10 hit points, and it will leave him burning, which I think we talked about burning in the previous episode. Takes additional magic damage when attacked, and indeed it does also cause these monsters to regenerate more slowly. And so I'm kind of slowly wearing him down, and I'll return to that zombie in a little bit. But at this point, I definitely need to heal up. So let's pick up a health potion and explore more over towards this glyph. I'm going to continue exploring to regenerate a little bit more. And we're seeing some more duplicates of these glyphs. These first dungeons are kind of easy and leave you with a number of duplicate glyphs. But as we showed in the previous episode, we can actually convert those as a human. Once again, we get extra attack bonus for every 100 conversion points. And so, but before we do that, I'm back up to 10 of 10 hit points. So let's go ahead and hit the zombie once more. And then use another fireball on him to leave him burning and at low health. But then I'm going to go ahead and pick up another one of these glyphs and also explore more to regain some health and mana. And since we now have 2 copies of Get In There, I don't need the extra copy, and so you'll recall that to use conversion, if you have extra objects you don't need, we can drag them over to the conversion bin. And actually, before I do that, you'll notice in the bottom right of this little Get In There information, it says 100, but when I started dragging it down to the conversion bin, it said 130. And so I think, yes, that is donate 10 conversion points to other conversions. Yeah, I think basically as a result of being a wizard, I get kind of extra conversion value for these things. But I'll go ahead and convert that, and my base damage just went up, and so now I'm hitting harder. And this zombie has 8 hit points. I'm hitting him for 6. And if I use Get In There, does that give me extra gives me first strike, but it still won't be enough to kill him. And so I still need to regenerate a bit more health so that I can survive from this zombie. But it looks like if I were to get 2 hit points back, I would have 8 hit points, and then I could survive another hit from the zombie. And so I'm going to walk to right here in the dungeon so that I open up 2 more squares to regenerate exactly enough to get me back up to 8. And so now I can hit the zombie, which will weaken him significantly. And now, if I were to have first strike, I could finish him off. And the reason that I am in this prolonged combat with this level 2 zombie, you'll recall from the previous episode, if you beat a monster that's at a higher level than you, you end up getting bonus experience. I can't remember if we talked about that before or not. But basically, rather than just getting 2 points of experience for beating the zombie, I'll actually get 4 points. 2 points for defeating a level 2 monster, and 2 more as a bonus for defeating a monster who's 1 level higher than I am. And so at this point, if I cast Get In There to get first strike, now I can finish off the zombie, and he won't have a chance to hit me back because I have first strike. And so we'll do this, and then this will cause us to level up. Great, and we are up to level 2 and can continue to explore. And I would definitely like to get some more conversion points. I'm all healed up, but I don't know where any other monsters are, so let's go ahead and pick up this extra glyph, another copy of Endoswall. Once again, I don't need 2 copies of it, and so I will go ahead and convert this one, which, since I'm a human, once again gives me more base damage. Here's another level 1 zombie. I'm going to go ahead and leave him behind. We've talked about the tactics of leaving behind kind of lower level enemies so that you can use them to level up later if you need to. And I see what looks like some blood on the floor over here, which I believe signals the dungeon boss. And so let's go ahead and walk over here. Indeed, it is the goat boss. I've been around since the Desktop Dungeons Alpha. Yep, I remember you, and I'm still going to kick your butt. Just let me land just 1 hit. And so he, wow, hits for 75 and has 81 hit points. We're going to have to do a lot of leveling before we'll be able to attack that guy. But now we know where the final boss is. And there's also a meat man over here who's also level 2, just like us. And we might be able to take him out. So let's go ahead and hit him once and twice. And I could either hit him thrice, but now that I'm at maximum, rather than let him hit me again, I've got all my mana, and so I might as well spend some of it to get first strike so that I can finish him off without him getting a chance to hit me back. And so that is good. And I guess I'll continue exploring back over towards these glyphs. And so let's do that next. I can pick up that health potion later if I need it. Oh, we never took a peek downstairs. We'll take a look at that in a moment. I want to see if I can get over towards these guys. Since my mana is full, in general, there's a variety of spells that you want to cast in general whenever your mana is full, so you don't waste mana. Endoswall is one of the great ones, and so whenever my mana fills up, I should remember to basically go break open portions of the wall that will allow me to explore more of the dungeon. And then let's continue walking over towards more of these glyphs. I'll pick up another mana potion. And my mana is getting a little bit full again, but I can explore 3 more squares before it fills up. Now that my mana is full, once again, let's break down another wall over here. And here's another meat man. He's kind of in the way of where I'm trying to go, and so I'll go ahead and defeat that guy. And mana is filling up a bit again, and so I'm going to go ahead and spend some of it before we continue to explore and regenerate more mana. Great, here's something that's going to increase my health. I've currently got 20. But that'll bring me up to 22. Okay, here's a level 3 goblin. This guy will be tough for me to defeat without using a bunch of magical spells, but I'm happy to do that. So let's go ahead and also he's level 3, so I get 3 points from killing him, plus 2 points extra for killing a monster who's 1 level above me. And so you can see, basically it tells me if I manage to kill this guy, I'll go from 5 points of experience to 10, which is what I need to level up. And so I definitely would like to take my shot at this guy. He has first strike, and so even if I have first strike, he's going to end up getting final hits on me. But let's go ahead and start wearing him down. And wow, I'm actually hitting really hard at this point, and I can actually finish him off. And so before I do that, since I have some extra mana that I don't need for anything else, let's go ahead and cast it to kind of open up a piece of the wall once again. But then we can finish off this particular goblin. And a level up to level 3, which is great. I've got all my mana once again. I don't know that there's anywhere that I really need to kind of open up the wall, but I'll go ahead and do it since I'm about to regenerate some more mana as I explore more of the dungeon down here. Recall that each time you explore new cells, it causes you to regenerate both health and mana, and so you should take advantage of exploration and spend your health and mana before you explore when possible. Got some more money down here. Another get in there glyph, and so I'll go ahead and pick it up, and I might as well convert it. It'll give me bonus. More damage. Now I'm hitting for 21. And here's another copy of End This Wall, so I'll pick it up and convert it as well. Even more base damage, which is great. And at this point I'm at level 3. I might even at this level... Well, no, he's going to be hitting way too hard. I definitely need more health before I can take on this particular dungeon boss. So since I'm at maximum mana, once again, I'm going to break down a piece of the wall so that I can go exploring this way later. But let's continue trying to explore down to the bottom wall down here. Seems like we may have reached it. I'm going to break open a piece of that wall over there. And let's explore other directions, other pieces of the dungeon that we haven't gone towards yet. I'll pick up some money over here. Got a couple of level 1 enemies that I'll probably come back to. Let's explore in this direction. Here's a level 2 guy. I'm going to go ahead and kill him off because I want to explore up towards this corner. And now that I have so much attack power, I can easily destroy some of these enemies. And let's see. I don't have anywhere particularly good to cast End This Wall. I'm going to go ahead and break open the wall up here, just so that I'm not wasting mana since I'm about to regenerate a whole bunch of it as I explore further up here. And here is more mana for me, so that's great. Each time you pick up one of those little blue things, it gives you 1 more mana to your possible mana pool, and so I just went up from 11 to 12. Since I'm at maximum, I'm going to go ahead and break open a piece of the wall over here and continue exploring this way. Really need to find some more bad guys that I can level up with. Hopefully we'll find a couple of level 4 guys. I guess we haven't gone downstairs into this portion of the dungeon yet, and so I'm going to break open one more piece of the wall, and then let's head downstairs and see what's down here. Alright, there's more dungeon to explore, as well as a bunch of money down here. And so I think this might just be a money room in some of these initial dungeons. We could actually use this to explore and kind of wasting my exploration to regain mana and health when I'm already at maximum, but that's okay because these first dungeons are pretty easy. Let's move on past our little goat friend over here. Let's go ahead and pick up this potion and see what else there might be to explore up here. Not a lot, it looks like. So I'm going to break open the wall over here. And I guess let's try exploring further this way. I guess we've got a bunch of level 1 enemies. Let's go ahead and start killing some of them off as we explore. And once again, I'm at maximum mana, and so I'm just going to break open pieces of the wall so that I have more places I can explore later on. And finish off. Okay, here's some more places to farm some experience. And so this goblin, I can bring him down to 2 hit points, and now he would damage me a ton if I tried to hit him again. And so rather than take that damage, I have maximum mana, and so I will spend a fireball to finish him off so he doesn't get a chance to hit me, because recall, anytime you use a fireball on different enemies, they don't get a chance to hit you back. And so that's a great way to keep my health up for right now. The zombie's only level 2, and so I can finish him off in 1 hit. And now I need to regenerate both some health and some mana, and so we'll continue this way. And at this point, I've got 9 of 15 points of experience, so if we find a few more enemies, I could level up to level 4, and then maybe have a shot at this guy. He hits so hard. It's going to be tough. Alright, and these initial dungeons don't fill up this entire black space of my screen, and so it seems like I've hit the limit of the dungeon over here. So that could be problematic. I'm going to go ahead and open up a square in the wall in case there's anything over to the right over here, although I don't know that there is. And let's try exploring maybe towards the bottom left and see if we can find any more monsters down here. I'll continue to open up pieces of the wall as that is possible. And, right now, recall that you get 4 points of damage for each level. I'm at level 3, so this will burn for 12 points each time. I just want to get a sense of, well, let me do a little bit more exploring for bad guys. Okay, there are some bad guys down here. Great. Let's go ahead and take on one of these level 4 meatmen, who I think I'll be able to defeat with a combination of attacks as well as magic. Let's see. He would bring me down very low. I'm going to level up if I end up defeating this character, and so I don't care how low it gets me. So that's going to bring me down to 6 hit points, or 4 hit points, but now he is low enough. He's only got 6 hit points left at the bottom right, so I could finish him off with Fireball and level up to level 4. And I only need 20 points of experience to level up to level 5, and so let's keep fighting bad guys and see if perhaps we'll be able to do that. Gonna wail on this guy a little bit. He would hit me for 11 more before I finish him off, and so let's go ahead and spend Get In There so that I can get first strike and hit this guy before he hits me so I can preserve some of my hit points. Continue to explore down here. I've got all my magic points, and so once again, I'm going to cast something to go ahead and open this wall, and this level 3 goblin, now that I'm at level 4 and have a number of extra base damage, I can finish him off pretty easily. I suspect that we're going to reach kind of the bottom of the dungeon over here. Yeah. And so I don't know that there's a whole lot more exploring I can do down that way. I definitely would like to find some more bad guys. Here we go. Like this guy over here. And so let's finish this guy off. I'm up to 10 of 20 experience over on the right to try to level up again. And since I've got maximum mana, I'll go ahead and open up another section of the wall. Great, here's another level 4 enemy that we can get some experience off of. And so with repeated attacks, my mana is pretty high and my hit points are pretty low, and so I'll finish them off with a Fireball, preferring to spend some mana and keep some hit points since my hit points are pretty low, but we've reached the left edge of this dungeon as well. So let's see, it looks like there's still some more room down here where there might be some more enemies hiding. Sure enough, here's another level 4 meat man. But I could still afford to regenerate some more stuff, and so I'm going to explore a bit more up here to kind of maximize things before I get into this particular battle. And then, yeah, I think I'll go ahead and spend hit points and then spend some mana opening up some more of the walls. But we are at 18 of 20, which is very good. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to explore a bit more of the dungeon to go ahead and get my mana maxed out. Then I'm going to go ahead and spend some fireballs to begin to weaken the goat. And he won't be able to hit me back because I'm casting fireballs. And now that I've spent a bit of mana, I am going to kill off this goblin, which is going to cause me to level up to level 5. And now I've got maximum mana once again, and so I'm going to go back to spending some more fireballs to further weaken this particular dungeon boss, because it seems like that's the only way I'm going to be able to take him out since he hit so hard. And if I had one more fireball, I would be able to finish this guy off, and so I'm going to go ahead and use a mana potion to get enough mana so that I can cast a fireball. And just like that, we have destroyed this particular dungeon boss. There may be more things to explore down here, and so I'm going to take a look. Oh, there's a little signpost. Whenever possible, get back to full health before fighting the next monster. Yes, I've been doing a good job with that. Thank you, dungeon sign. Some more health power-ups that I don't really need. I don't know that you can actually like take this gold out of the dungeon. And so I think we're mostly done with this dungeon, and so rather than explore any more of it, I am just going to take my trophy, in this case the goat horn, for killing the goat, and exit. And we get our little summary stream that reminds us of all the monsters that we killed, all the glyphs that we picked up, all the places that we leveled up, and our earnings. Oh, and I guess it does actually count towards the gold that you get, so maybe it is good to explore all the dungeon and carry out all the gold. It's still not the case that I know everything about this game. Like, I've played a fair bit of it. Well, I played a lot of it back in alpha, and then a little bit when I was kind of like testing to get prepared for a let's play, but I'm sure I'm going to be doing some learning along the way as well. I've already seen the first episode of this has just aired, and I've already seen some comments where some people have played the game before. So if you know any things or have any corrections for anything I'm stating incorrectly, let me know. New building available. A local blacksmith is going to bolster the heroes in our kingdom, so we can visit the supply store. Trophy sold. Whenever we beat these different dungeon mobs, we get extra money, which is going to help us upgrade the kingdom. So now I've got 222 kingdom gold. And so let's see, what are our options here? Thief's Den. That is something that would unlock new character classes. So that's one thing we could upgrade. The blacksmith gives you a starter kind of adventuring kit, which lets you start off with some extra items to help your adventurers, and that's something that's very useful. And the church also has some other character classes. We could unlock a priest, for example. But I think I am going to do the blacksmith since we have enough money for it right now. Let's go ahead and upgrade this. And the blacksmith, if we go and visit it, basically gives us preparations. The building's preparation panel, there are several slots of a variety of performance-boosting dungeon effects, such as free items, layout modifiers, or more abstract benefits. And yeah, you can find out when starting up the next adventure. And so, for example, we could spend a little bit of money before we go into a dungeon and start out with a sword, which gives us +2 damage right at the start of the dungeon, which can be very valuable because the first few enemies can be very hard to kill when you're still at level 1. There's also a Slayer wand. I've hardly used that, and so I don't have a good sense of what it is, as well as a shield, which will reduce the damage that you've taken. So that's an advantage of unlocking the blacksmith. I'm going to check on the time for how much time I've already spent on this episode, so I'll be right back. Yeah, that worked out well. I'm happy with the timing of this episode and how long things are going, so I hope you enjoyed this episode, and next time we will probably take someone into the Cave of 1,000 Cuts in order to try to kill another monster down there and then find some other dungeons that we can go and explore. I hope that you guys are having a great day, and I will see you again soon with more desktop dungeons.